Class is in session and I'm about to teach you exactly what I would do if I wanted to lose 20 pounds, but also look toned, not just skinny fat when I did lose the weight. We're gonna first make sure that we have a realistic timeline set up. Some of you guys think that this is gonna happen inside of 2 or 3 months of consistency. You need to understand that actually making a transformation where you're not just losing fat and then you're regaining it later takes longer than just a month or 2. First, I would set my realistic timeline. I would give myself about 6 months for this transformation. If you feel like 6 months is too long, then you need to reevaluate your goals. Second, I would calculate my calorie deficit calories. This is the most important thing when it comes to losing fat. And without this, you will never be able to lose weight. You can eat as clean as you want. You can cut out sugar. You can cut out carbs. You can cut out all of your favorite foods. But if you are not in a calorie deficit, you are not going to see that fat loss. Point blank, period. A very, very simple and generalized calculation is going to be to take your body weight in pounds and multiply it by 11. This is going to give you a rough idea of what your calorie deficit calories should be. 3, I would download MyFitnessPal where you're gonna track your food, but I would also buy a food scale. Without actually weighing and tracking your food, you are just guessing. And if you're just guessing, it's very unlikely you're gonna lose the 20 pounds and actually get toned. The reality is tracking your food provides you the most certainty that you are on the right plan. And newsflash, nobody really wants or loves to track their food, but they know it's gonna get them to their results. Now you could lose weight by just tracking your calories and being in a calorie deficit, but if you actually want to look toned, we need to prioritize protein. So I would set my protein at about 1 gram per pound of my goal weight. So let's say I weighed 180 pounds, but I wanted to weigh closer to 140. I would aim for around 140 grams of protein, give or take 10 grams. Next, I would start strength training 3 to 4 times per week. You do not need to be in the gym every single day to see progress. And in fact, if you are in the gym every single day, then you're probably doing yourself a disservice. You're probably not training at the correct intensity in order to look toned. Because in order to look toned, you need to have enough muscle on your body and you need to be lean enough in order to reveal that muscle. In order to build muscle, you need to be coming between 1 and 3 reps away from failing on an exercise. So the 2-pound dumbbells, the arm weights, they need to go, even the resistance bands. If you are working out and you look like a whistleblower, you're like, and you're barely even breaking a sweat, you barely have a grimace on your face, you are not training hard enough. What you do during this workout also doesn't have to be anything complex. Stick to the basics. If you want to grow your lower body more than your upper body, you could do 2 lower body days and 1 upper body day. You could even do 3 lower body days and 1 upper body day. Or if you are looking to build muscle and tone all around, then you could do 2 lower body days, 2 upper body days. You get the point. 5 to 7 exercises a day, 3 to 4 sets, rep ranges between 6 and 20. Don't just go following your favorite influencer workouts and never going in with a plan like a chicken with your head cut off in the gym. That is how you ensure you never look any different. In order to see consistent progress, you actually have to track your progress, similar to how you have to track your calories if you want to make sure that you are in a calorie deficit. This is where progressive overload comes in, and all progressive overload is, think of each time you go into the gym, you're trying to get better, you're trying to get stronger. Whether that is increasing by another rep, maybe last week you did 3 sets of 12 on the leg press, and this week you wanna try to do 3 sets of 14 or 15 on the leg press, or maybe you're gonna go up by just 5 pounds. This is why sticking to a workout split for at least 8 to 12 weeks is gonna be most beneficial, so you can actually track your strength improvements. Walking will be your best friend when you are trying to lose fat. Cardio is simply a tool to get further into a calorie deficit because you are increasing the calorie out side of the calorie in versus calorie out equation. I will preface with, you could walk 4,000 steps a day and still lose fat, but your calories will have to be a little bit lower than they would be if you were actually prioritizing 8 to 12K. From my experience in coaching over 2,000 women and losing 40 pounds and actually keeping it off myself, you wanna have a good balance of both because it's really hard to stick to extremely low calories every single day versus having higher activity and being able to have a little bit more flexibility in your nutrition and your calorie amount. If you get stuck and you are not losing any more fat despite being consistent, despite tracking your weekends, despite tracking all of the licks and the bites and the extra snacking that you do, despite being very consistent with actually hitting your steps every single day, not only when you feel motivated, despite actually training 3 to 4 times a week and following progressive overload, not just on the days where you have enough energy. If you do those things and you are not seeing consistent progress, then you need to adjust your calories or your overall activity. So you could either go from 8,000 steps to 12,000 steps a day, or 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day, or you could add in a little bit of cardio. I prefer incline walking, but to each their own. At the end of the day, what's most important is finding something you can stay consistent with, and that's gonna come down to preference. Or you could decrease your calories a little bit. If you are just maintaining, you are not gaining, you are not losing weight after, let's say, 3 weeks of consistency, then I would drop my calories a little bit further. In order to be in a calorie deficit, you wanna be about 300 to 500 less than what your maintenance calories is. And again, that's just where you're maintaining. So again, after auditing your consistency and your accuracy, if you're not losing weight after, let's say, 3 weeks, and you can either increase your activity through cardio or increasing your overall steps or the amount that you're walking, or you can decrease your calories a little bit. Sometimes you can do a combination of the two. That is it, guys. Anything outside of this is truly just a distraction. These are the things that matter most. These are the things that are going to move the needle forward the most. Stop believing that it's your insulin or that your hormones need to be perfectly balanced or that it even needs to be the perfect time in order to make this change. You can lose fat, you can get toned inside of 6 months if you just do these things and stick to it.